The Seattle Seahawks dominated in one of the most important stats in football during yesterday's Week 1 preseason win over the Chargers. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. It is Victory Sunday, and I know it's just a preseason game, but it's still a Seahawks win. It still feels pretty good, and even if you don't care about the win versus the loss, you probably care about how good the team looked overall yesterday. Like I said, the offense was all right. The defense was obviously the star of the show. The special teams, maybe you could do a little bit there, but overall, that was a performance that you're coming away from with way more positive than negative. And one thing that I feel like cannot be overstated coming out of that game is how different the team looked compared to basically every game they played over the last 2 seasons. And it mostly comes down to the defense, but there's also a part of this where the offense comes in. Both sides of the ball did a lot to make what I'm about to talk about happen. And obviously, this is a preseason game. They're going to be playing more meaningful games down the road, and they need to be able to replicate this kind of success in meaningful games. But the fact that they're doing it in this game is encouraging because, quite honestly, generally speaking, over the last, maybe you could even say 5 or 6 years, they don't really do this. And yesterday they did it. So let's talk about it. But before I get into that, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Please like it if you do. Click the like button down below. Helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell for notifications and you want daily Seahawks content. Become a channel member for as little as $2 a month. Those are the best ways to help support the channel. Okay, so one thing that really stands out about this game, because there was a lot that stood out, but I really want to highlight this because this is so important. The Seattle Seahawks in yesterday's game had 37 passing attempts, so 37 plays ended in a quarterback throwing the ball. They allowed 3 sacks, so that's basically 40 dropbacks, plus maybe a couple of quarterback scrambles. That's 40 plays, and then they ran the ball 39 times. And they didn't have any fumbles, so it's not like there's a play that wouldn't be counted under either column, so that accounts for every play that the Seahawks ran in the Chargers game. So that's 79 plays on offense. We go over to the Chargers. 32 passes plus 3 sacks. That comes out to 35 dropbacks. And then you had 18 runs. That gets you up to 53 plays run by the Seahawks defense. So quite simply, the Seattle Seahawks had 26 more plays run offensively than they ran defensively. And not only is that really, really good, not only is that really, really impressive, but it's also directly in contrast to what they've been doing for a while now, especially last year, but you could pick out most years in recent memory and probably come to the same conclusion. So that's number one. Number two would be the way in which this manifests itself in the time of possession. The Seattle Seahawks had possession of the football in yesterday's game for 39 minutes and 9 seconds. And the Chargers had it for the rest of the time, which was 20 minutes and 51 seconds. That is a massive discrepancy, almost 2-to-1. It is very rare in the NFL that you see a team win time of possession by 2-to-1 and not win the game. It happens once in a blue moon. If you can control the ball like this, you're almost always going to come out on top. So that was the main key from which everything else in this game sprung. And yeah, the defense deserves a lot of credit for that. If you take a look at the first down metric, the Chargers went 2 of 13 on third down and 0 of 2 on fourth down. So that's 15 opportunities to potentially get the ball back to your offense as a defense, and the Seahawks cash in on 13 of them. But you also have the offense to thank as well. They had 20 third downs, they converted 11 of them, And they also had one failed fourth down. So that's 11 of 21. So more than half the time, they were trying to either score or stay on the field on a third down or fourth down where the possibility of the possession ending is there. They converted. So that's obviously part of it. The effectiveness of the ground game is also a part of it. The ability to keep third down to third and manageable is a part of it. There's a lot that goes into something like that happening, but it all came together in yesterday's game to make these stats as lopsided as they are. But I really want to draw attention to that play number for a second. Because once again, it was, 79 plays on offense, 53 plays on defense. Very, very lopsided. But how does that compare to what we saw last season? If you were watching my videos last year, you probably know. But let's go look at it again. So if you go back to my charts that I used last year during the season, total number of snaps offensively, 1,051. That's how many plays we ran on offense in 2023. 17 games, 1,051. Defense, 1,189. 1,189 plays on defense over 17 games. So first of all, that is a monster discrepancy. That's almost 140 extra plays being played on defense, which comes out to, 8 to 9 extra plays a game for your defense compared to your offense. And that translates very well into your time of possession as a team, which makes it much harder to win. If you want to do the exact math here, the Seahawks in 2023 ran an average of 61.8 plays per game on offense, and they ran 69.9, basically 70 plays per game on defense. So that is a discrepancy of more than 8 plays per game, and that adds up over the course of a 17-game season. And let's not forget, the Seahawks' average time of possession in games last year, not counting overtime, was 26 minutes and 38 seconds, which was by far the lowest in the entire NFL. I think they were last place by well more than 30 seconds. It might have even been about a minute. So they were awful at staying on the field, and they were awful at getting off the field defensively. So nothing worked. Now, obviously, it's just one preseason game. There's no way the Seahawks are going to be able to replicate this level of success in every game they play. But just to give you an idea of how different yesterday was, if the Seahawks played a 17-game season and had 79 offensive plays in every single game, that would be 1,343 offensive plays run, which would, I can tell you right now, pretty much guarantee that would lead the entire league by a mile. And if they only ran 53 defensive plays per game for a 17-game season, that'd be 901 defensive plays. Think about how different that is as a team, where your defense isn't getting worn out and tired over the course of the season, where maybe you get into that Week 17 game at home against the Steelers and you don't give up 470 yards because everyone on your defense is tired, nobody can get pressure, nobody can get off blocks, nobody can tackle. Yeah, that's a big reason why that stuff happens. Everyone is tired because they're playing too many snaps during the course of a season. And by the way, a 39-minute, 9-second time of possession per game would easily lead the league. It would be probably the biggest time of possession discrepancy in NFL history. Now, none of those things are going to happen. That would be absurd. If the team does that, they're probably literally 17-0. Because it would be so unprecedented to have that big of an advantage in every game you play. But could they have success here? Could they be good here? Could this be the turning point where they realize, we're putting too much on our defense because of these possessions that don't take enough time, and because of these third down defensive schemes that don't get off the field enough? So this is just a rough example of how much it changes if we can just find a way to be better on third down offensively and better on third down defensively. Limiting turnovers, forcing turnovers. These are the things that are going to change everything for this team. If you want to know why the team forgot how to play defense at the end of the season last year, this is a big reason why. They played more defensive plays than just about anybody. They were on the field for more time than just about anybody. It's a mess. And not to say that it was okay for them to be as bad as they were early in the season, but if you want to know why they looked like they didn't belong on a football field, look at this. And then look at what happened yesterday and get excited, because that kind of football where you're actually going after it on third down, that kind of football where you're actually coming up with good plays on third down, those things that we did yesterday really well, to where we dominated in these categories, that's winning football. And that's more important than any one thing from this game, right? That's more important than any one player. That's more important than any one stat from an individual box score. These things are great. Like, some of these box scores look great. McIntosh, Halani, Sam Howell, Derek Young. Like, these are some pretty decent box scores. Definitely not taking anything away from any of this. But none of it comes even close to the importance of time of possession, number of plays run on offense, number of plays run on defense. All right. I'll see you guys later. Probably some more videos coming later today. If not, catch me on stream over on Twitch. And yeah, we're just going to keep on trying to talk about this game and figure out what we can learn from it. But if we've learned anything over the last couple years, it's that the miles build up. And yesterday, the Seahawks put a lot of miles on the Chargers, didn't have a lot of miles put up on them. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks.